Hello everyone, Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Welcome back, and if you are new, thanks for checking out my channel. Please hit subscribe and stick around. I hope that you are all doing well. I have been on vacation for a couple of weeks, and we've had some lovely weather, and I still have a few days left of vacation, so I'm hoping to get a few videos filmed for you as I will be away again next week. So this time, this is for work, but today I am going to do something a little different. I have been thinking about books that I've read and books that I want to read that I think would go well together as a book pairing. And I thought that I would share one of those pairs with you today. And then I had also promised a while back now that I would share some of the little free libraries around my neighborhood so that I have some of those to show you at the end of the video. So let's get started with the book pairing. I chose a nonfiction and a fiction book for this pairing, and I am going to start with the nonfiction book, and that is Highway of Tears by Jessica McDiarmid. This was published in 2019, and I read it in March of 2020, and it is not only a good book, but it is an important book. Highway of Tears is a real highway, also known as Highway 16 in northwestern British Columbia, and it runs from the towns of Prince George to Prince Rupert. For those of you who are more familiar with BC, you might already know this. This highway has been known as the Highway of Tears since 1998 because many women, especially Indigenous women, have gone missing from this road from at least the early 70s until now. And in many cases, the women have been found murdered or not found at all. And still, many of the crimes remain unsolved. So in this book, Jessica McDiarmid has, with permission from the families, she's used their input to tell their stories. And the book talks about the reasons these crimes have been overlooked and sometimes dismissed, what some of the families have done to change that, including walking the 700 plus kilometers of the highway to raise awareness. And she also talks about what still needs to happen because unfortunately this is an issue that still persists today. So if this is a topic that you are interested in and you want to learn more about it, then this is an excellent book to pick up. And then the fiction book that I am pairing this with is called Dark Roads by Chevy, which was published in 2021, and I actually just read it this month. I finished it a few days ago, and this is the second book that I've read by this author, and her books are more mystery thriller kind of books, and I was spellbound by Still Missing, and which was the other book I read, and I thought that I would try another book of hers out. And when I opened this up and I started reading it, I thought, wait a second, this sounds like the Highway of Tears. And sure enough, Dark Roads is inspired by this stretch of highway. And in this case, the road is called Cold Creek Highway, and the names of places have been changed. They're all fictional. And along Cold Creek Highway, women have been going missing for decades. And Haley McBride is the main character. She's a teenager when her father dies, and she is now living with her aunt and her aunt's new husband, Vaughn. Now, nothing is explicitly said that Haley is Indigenous, but we know that her father has taught her about the land and how to live off the land. So there are some possible indicators, I guess. I thought it was interesting. It was like the author wanted to give a nod to the Indigenous women, who have been murdered or have gone missing. But she doesn't do it in an explicit or overtly way. So I wonder what the thinking was behind that. By the end of the first chapter, I was hooked on this story. Vaughn is a police officer, and he uses his authority within the community in slimy ways, and especially with Haley, he uses it to control her. He isolates her, and he tries to teach her a lesson by saying that he's trying to protect her. But it just feels wrong from the very beginning. The aunt also seems to be under his authority. Haley eventually starts learning about Vaughn's secrets and begins to become afraid for her life. And people, including Haley, are, already well aware of how dangerous Cold Creek Highway is. And in many ways, the highway becomes a character in the novel as well, which I love. There's a billboard of all the missing women, and when another young woman, someone that Haley knows and loves, goes missing, she is added to that billboard. So with the help of other friends, Haley tries to escape, but she's still in great danger. And when she disappears, people assume she has become the victim of the highway killer. And Vaughn and other police officers in the book, I think, are supposed to be representative of the problems within the system. There are good cops and bad cops, and I was surprised by the twist, but I also thought that the book could have been stronger in some ways. So as a thriller, this is a good book to check out. Knowing its connection to the Highway of Tears, I think, going into it, you need to know that the similarities are really in the setting, on a highway for where people have gone missing or have been murdered, and very loosely on the police system. So this is not a fictionalized story of one of the cases from the Highway of Tears or anything like that. At the end of the book, Chevy Stevens includes a letter from the author explaining why she chose to write about this topic, and she has information for people looking for further resources. So if you want to learn more about that, definitely check this out, and I will leave some of those resources in the description box below as well. So for this pairing, I would say that, if you are looking for a good thriller or mystery, then check out Dark Roads, knowing that its subject matter is very close to the hearts of many Canadians, and especially to Indigenous peoples and Indigenous communities. If you want to learn more about the Highway of Tears itself and the issues around it, and more about missing and murdered Indigenous women and children, especially here in Canada, then the nonfiction book Highway of Tears is an excellent place to start. I know that many Indigenous people have, praised the work that Jessica McDiarmid has done, and that she has been an advocate and ally for the community. So that's always a good thing. So that is the first pair of books in the Book Pairings series. Please let me know if you have read either of these books or if you are interested in them. Do you have any recommendations that might also match up with these two books? I'd love to hear all about that. So now I'm going to show you some of the little free libraries that are around my neighborhood and a couple of other neighborhoods. And I often put books into the little free libraries, but rarely do I take books from them. It has been known to happen on rare occasions. In these cases, I didn't pick any books up. There were some slim pickings, but it's still great to see if there are any gems, and it's great to see the libraries. So these are in no particular order, but I am going to save my favorite one until the end. So I will let you know when that one is coming up. So here we go. The first one is only a block away from my home, and every time I go by it, it hasn't had any books in it until just about a week or so ago, and it had 3 books, a Stephen Fry book, and a book called The Sparrow, which I've never heard of. The next two I'm going to show you are about half a kilometer away, and I absolutely adore them. The first one is all mosaic. It's very artsy and it's in a really neat neighborhood. I love the colors, and it was jam-packed. I thought I took video of the books inside, but I can't seem to find it, so I apologize for that. And then the next one is just down the street. And again, I thought I had video, so I will have to take video the next time that I go by these two in order to show you, because they are always full. Next up is the closest one to me. It's about a block away, and it also has mosaic. It's usually full too. However, this time it had a Joe Nesbo book. It had Canadian author Amy McKay, a Nicholas Sparks, Message in a Bottle, a couple of others, Ian Rankin, who actually I've never read before. Up next is a little free library across the river from me, and it had one of my faves, John Irving. It also had Stephen King and several other kind of crime detective novels, including Michael Connelly and Clive Cussler. And finally, my absolute favorite was at a United Church. So I will show you a photo of the church. And then their little free library is a replica of the church, and I just thought that it was so adorable. Unfortunately, there were not a lot of great books inside. Suzanne Summers made an appearance, but I just thought that it was so cool how they replicated the church for their little free library. So that is just a quick look at some of the little free libraries near me. I will go back to some of those and film if they have any different books in them, and there's several more around me as well. So when I get a chance, I will check those out and bring all of you along for those as well. Let me know if you have a little free library. Do you use them? Do you have a favorite near you? And also let me know your thoughts on the book pairings. I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.